Kansas State recap. Here we come. The Raspy Voice kids are in the building. I'm Brandon Phoenix, a.k.a. I Also Hate Pitt. And I'm here with my homeboy.
Yep, Jay and Fiend. I'm here on the other end, ready to talk about what we saw at Kansas State and what we got coming on.
Kansas State was a game of frustration yet again for the Mountaineers. We looked so good at times, and we looked so bad at others. I got to be honest with you. I can't remember the last time our defense had a performance like it did on Saturday. Can you?
Man, they really played well. Really played well. Tip the cap. Everybody who said stuff, I've complained about things about our defense. I mean, all my words, they got it together, and they are really the foundation. They are really rock solid right now.
They only gave up 23 points after there were 4 offensive turnovers, some deep within their own territory. Had a great, essentially, goal line stand to keep Kansas State out and hold them to a field goal. And all of this is done with several injuries to our starting defensive setup. If you want to talk about dogs, Tony Gibson said after the Iowa State game that the puppies were turning into dogs. They are straight up mature now. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not saying we couldn't be. There aren't areas where we could be better. But the defensive line with Ezekiel Rose getting an interception, pressure on the quarterback, Reese Donahue, and, of course, Lamont McDougal. All those guys are doing big things. David Long, you just can't block the guy. You can't block him. If for my money, he's the best linebacker in the Big 12, and there are some good ones. I'm not hating on the linebackers in the Big 12. Just for my money, I'm taking David Long over everybody else.
And Daniels and Robinson out there on the island, they're starting to play ball. They're really starting to play ball.
Kenny Robinson, that interception that he made, the way he diagnosed that play. Now, it was a bad pass and it was a late pass, but the way he diagnosed it and broke on that ball shows maturity beyond his freshman years. It's just a wonderul thing to see. And if our offense could
you got this thing called playmakers. You know, you like we always say, you got 3-point shooters, and then you have scorers. Maybe they're not 3-point shooters, but they'll score. Playmakers are the same way. Maybe you can't say, oh, this, oh, that, but when there's a play to be made, they're Johnny on the spot, and they're there. The way he broke on that ball, it was just, that's ball playing. That's being a playmaker. That's making a play.
As a freshman, we can only imagine what he's going to do as time goes on. I feel so comfortable with them. And if the offense could ever stop being ADD, what I mean by that is we score quickly. We don't do well sustaining drives. We're still not running the ball as well as we like, even though Crawford, I believe he went over 100 yards. He went over 100 yards against Saturday, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he did. It was good to see that part, but I still don't think we're dominating at the offensive line at the point of attack like we should be or like we could be, like we have in games past. Greer, in my opinion, looked good. The interceptions were a product of drops. They weren't perfect passes, but they should have been caught. Our receivers are so spectacular. That catch David Long made is the best catch I've seen a West Virginia player make since Kevin White made that one in the end zone against Baylor. The one-handed grab. That said, as they make spectacular play after play, Gary Jennings, Mr. Clutch on third downs, Karan White beasting the dudes who are guarding him, no matter who it is guarding him. They drop easy passes.
No, they do.
And I'm not saying this to hate on them. I'm just saying, can you imagine what our offense would be if they would stop dropping these easy passes? If they would stop dropping passes that they know they can make, the plays they know they can make. Can you imagine what our offense would be? It would sustain drives. It would stop having turnovers, and we would finally put a team to sleep once and for all when we have them down. And maybe, just maybe, the committee would look at us and stop hating on us and give us some respect and put us in the top 25.
No, that's exactly. You are spot on, and that's what I watch. I think our receivers are so talented. I think they make some of the most spectacular plays. They're such a dangerous group. Just like I said, full of talent. They drop too many passes. You give me all the stats in the world, and I love it, and I'll take it, and I want our receiving core.
Yes.
I haven't seen the statistic on how many passes they drop. They drop a lot of They let too many balls hit the dirt, and the problem is Saturday they didn't hit the dirt. They went right into these Kansas State arms. 2 or 3 times the ball went through our guys' hands, and I just keep chalking up to a lack of focus because then you see them make the most incredible catches.
That's exactly what it is. It's got to be a lack of focus.
Catches.
And the worst part is it's inopportune times. There were times when it would sustain the drive, and we continue on third down. Jake Spavital called one of the best plays I've seen him call, a little route for David Sills, and he drops it in the flat, open for a first down. And he was mad at himself, like he should have been. He's still Solitnikov. We still have 3 Biletnikoff Award nominees. We still have Marcus Sims, who burns up the turf when he's out there playing, but they got to catch the football. Otherwise, all of those talents, all of those efforts are moot. Yep. So until we get that, what'd you say?
I said the fumbles too. There's a couple of fumbles early in the game where we just didn't.
Crawford dropped the ball again.
Somebody else fumbled too. I think it wasn't Sills. Didn't Sills fumble?
Sills fumbled to begin the game.
That's what I'm saying. Just these little things that keep putting our defense in bad position, but also is keeping us from blowing out these teams. And like I said, I'm not hating on our receivers. I think our offense, and I love our receivers. We're a good offense, great offense. Look at the stats these guys are putting up. We just got to stay focused for a full game. We got to clean up these little things. We have big games on the horizon. We've played in big games. Texas is going to be a fight. Look at the games they played against the other big boys in the Big 12. It's going to be a fight. Oklahoma, we already know what we have. So we have to start putting it together. We're at the end of the season. Let's do it now.
No, I agree. And, we talked about Justin Crawford fumbling that ball. Again, not hating on Justin, because then you see him later in the game make a play that only Justin Crawford can make, that nobody else on our team makes. He's the man. He does things that other people are not capable of, but he doesn't reach his full potential when we have these little errors. And, of course, everybody's going to make mistakes, so don't take this as a bash session. This is just a what if, can you imagine what we would be session. That's what this really is. And all we can do is hope. And the thing is, talking about what if, imagine what we could be, can you imagine if we fired Dana Holgorsen like so many of these people want? Can you imagine what would happen?
I don't get who's saying this stuff. Like I keep hearing it, but
where do you think it comes from? Where do you think it comes from? Why are people asking? Why do people hate Dana Holgorsen so much?
Where do I think it comes from? I'm not sure. I think, it's part of just getting spoiled. And I understand that our team doesn't play up to its potential sometimes, but sometimes I think they lose the bigger picture. Go ahead.
Well, what you just said is 100% right. They lose the bigger picture. But
how many games was a stat that showed he's a second lead in the Big 12 in games in November?
Yes, he's 9-1 since 2015. Right, the only team better is 10-0 Oklahoma.
That's awesome. I think that we sometimes get just too short-sighted. We don't see the whole picture, and that comes from us being emotional. We've talked about it before. We get emotional. But the thing that bothers me is it's like they won't come off this Dana thing. We're 7-3. 3 of our losses came to top 25 teams.
2 of them by 1 touchdown.
So I don't understand.
And both of them were on the road.
Yeah. So what do you want this guy? I see us getting better.
Well, honestly, we're talking about things that aren't really the reason for people hating Dana. Jeremy, why people hate Dana Holgorsen. You know why. Think real hard, just for a second. I'll give you 3 seconds. People hate Dana Holgorsen because of the way he came in.
Is that the whole reason why they hate Dana?
I don't think it's the whole reason. I think it's a big reason. Dana Holgorsen comes in. He had never coached at West Virginia before. He's from Iowa. He coached in the Big 12, and here he is coming to our team as a part of a new administration with Oliver Luck, and he's pushing out the favorite son, Bill Stewart, who had done so much for us when Rich Rodriguez left, who, from everybody's vantage point and perspective, is a man of pure loyalty and goodness. And that man gets pushed out in favor of Dana Holgorsen. It's like you're pushing out the old and you're bringing in the new. And people did not like that. People were very upset about it. People were very emotional about it. Winning that first season, those 10 games, and winning the Orange Bowl, that cured a lot of it. People didn't have much to say because he did that. And then he won 5 games in a row to start the 2012 campaign, including beating Texas in an amazing primetime game on Fox. And so everything was amazing. And then he goes downhill real bad, real fast. We remember how that season played out. He's the man in black. He's not wearing gold and blue. So here you got this outsider who pushed out our favorite son, and he doesn't wear gold and blue, and results aren't coming as fast as you would like. And it's partially because of all the things I said, the foundations that started out on a bad foundation. But then you add poor expectations, because we were used to winning games in the Big East where there was a lot of top-level talent on the Mountaineer teams, a lot of top-level talent. But we didn't have the depth, and we hadn't recruited the way we needed to recruit to compete in a big boy conference. So when we got to the Big 12, we didn't get the results that people expected. Not that we should have gotten them, because we weren't built for it, but what people expected. And when that happened, people decided Dana was terrible, and people won't let go of it. They just won't let go of it. It doesn't matter what they see. It doesn't matter what they see about recruiting. It doesn't matter what they see about recruiting classes. We have the number 18 recruiting class according to Rivals. We just got another recruit signed, in-state kid, linebacker out of Martinsburg. We've got a chance to get another big-time linebacker, 4-star linebacker out of Valdosta, Georgia. And our class will be the best class, in my opinion, that we have gotten since we started recording class rankings. That's all coaching staff. Will Greer said nobody recruited him harder than Urban Meyer, but who did he end up with? Dana Holgorsen. That's not a coincidence. It's not a mistake. It's not by chance. It's because of who and what Dana is. It's because of what he's put together as far as a coaching staff. It's because he understands the culture. That's why when people ask Dana Holgorsen, he says, yes, I'm a hillbilly, because he is embracing the culture. He is a part of West Virginia. He moved his family to Morgantown, his parents to Morgantown. He is a part of us. It's not a fluke. Not a short-term thing.
I agree 100% he's part of us. A few years ago, if you'd asked me that, I'd have said, I'm not sure. Now, through and through, Dana's a Mountaineer. You take it or leave it, Dana is a Mountaineer. And some people who want to leave it. He's my coach. He's our coach. And I love what Dana's doing. Like I said,
me too.
I'm not, obviously you're never satisfied. You want more. But the direction it's moving in, and it's solidly moving in a positive direction. I'm right now, I stay with the ship and see where it goes.
No, I agree 100%. And I understand people who felt emotional about what happened with Bill Stewart. But you have to remember, Dana was not making those decisions. So if you're mad at anybody, you should be mad at Oliver Luck or the rest of the administration, which I'm not advocating that either. I don't have any problem with what happened, because I wasn't there. I don't know exactly what did happen. I don't know what happened behind the scenes. I don't know what conversations were had. I can't say any of those things. What I can say is Dana didn't make those decisions. Dana didn't cause those problems. And Dana, like everybody else as time has moved on. And he's our coach now. We need to embrace that. All this fire Dana stuff is nonsense.
Stop it.
It's so much nonsense, and we mock it. You'll hear us. Anytime there's a good statistic, we tweet out, fire Holgorsen, or I'll respond on Facebook, fire Holgorsen, because inevitably, it doesn't matter what he does. He won 10 games last year, and people were like, I think we're in for a downturn next year. Well, we lost 8 players, okay?
But what? You say all this about Dana, and just real is real. I heard people saying fire Gibby at times this year,
People keep saying fire Gibby and change your defense.
So I think people are just ridiculous. Like I hear everything you're saying, and I think that maybe a little bit more why people feel the way they do about Dana. But I also think people are just ridiculous because he's the man from Van. He's our dude. Don't you dare say anything bad about Tony Gibson, and yet people come out their mouth and say it. So
don't you ever fix your face to say anything bad about Tony Gibson, because I don't care what the defense looks like. It will always improve. It will always be better. And can you imagine this defense next year when everybody comes back? Can you imagine? I know we get sick of saying that all the time. This defense is good now. We should be happy about what we have now. But I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for the trajectory of this team, offensively, defensively, and as a program. I'm excited about what's being built in Morgantown.
100.
I feel as a state we should have absolute and complete and total pride in the product that we have. It's not perfect. It's not where we want to be, but we're headed there. We're headed to the mountaintop. You got to stay the course.
Absolutely.
And don't forget, we also hate Pitt.
Raspy Boys!
It's Texas Hate Week. The Raspy Boys kids are back in action, fresh off our show at Gresso's, and we're ready to roll. Jay and Fiend, you in the building?
I definitely am here. This is something we've been waiting for all year. UT, horns down. It's coming this week, right now. Man.
Horns down for sure, man. It was going to be horns down no matter what. We were already ready for Texas. We were all ready for Hate Week. It was all ready to go. And then Big Mouth Breckenhager had the nerve to come out his face and say some nonsense about the West Virginia Mountaineers. Now, he wasn't all the way incorrect. He called us a bunch of hillbillies drinking moonshine. Now, we are the only ones who are allowed to talk about ourselves the way Breckenhager attempted to. We are the only ones who are allowed to do that. But let me make something clear to you. There will be plenty of moonshine, and Brecken, you're going to wish there wasn't. So good for you for getting this started.
Big mouths, man.
You saw what he said, right?
Yeah, I saw somebody put something. Say it again. What exactly did he say?
They asked him, why is it so tough to play in Morgantown? He said it's just a bunch of hillbillies drinking moonshine.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I did see that.
And when they asked Dana about it, Dana says, "You're right. You're daggone right. I'm a hillbilly."
No.
Then he said, if you go out around the stadium, if you go out around campus or on game day, you're going to find some people drinking out of clear containers. But he could not confirm what is or is not in those glasses. Well, I will tell you for sure, without question, there will be moonshine. There will be people drinking moonshine on Saturday. Let me guarantee you that. People are going to be fired up. We are on a roll. This team looks good to go, and it's hate week.
Absolute hate week. We're going to be fired up, man. Look, we wanted a night game. We didn't get a night game, but we are going to be ready to go because it's Texas. When Texas comes in, it's just bigger. And that's one of the things I hate about Texas. The truth is, they're arrogant. Very, very arrogant and smug and cocky. And the truth is, they move the Richter. They do. They move the Richter on television ratings. They do all that stuff. People care about Texas. But you know what they don't do?
Win.
You don't win. We have these. Go ahead.
No, you say people care about Texas. You know who cares about Texas? Texas. I don't think people care about Texas as much as Texas cares about Texas, and as much as Texas cares about talking about Texas. The rest of us aren't really that impressed.
No, nor should we be. Here's my thing. Do you know what our record is against them?
4-2. We won 2 in a row.
4-2. Ain't nobody scared of Texas.
Nobody's afraid of Texas.
You got this Texas, air about yourself. Bring yourself to Morgantown, and we'll beat you like we always do. 4-2. This isn't some other team that you whip up on. What is there to be scared of Texas? The last 3 years, what 5-7, 5-7, 6-7. You walk around arrogant, but for what? You're scared of your little brothers. You don't play Texas A&M. You don't go around them. You know why? You boys get whipped. Like for us, we have a reason why we don't play other people because there's no benefit. But Texas A&M is a big boy college now. Y'all are pure and simple scared of A&M, and I would be too. Going 5-7, 6-7, 5-7, and 5-7, losing records last 3 years. Come on now.
Yeah, and especially when you add to that, part of that losing record was losing to the Jayhawks, the Kansas Jayhawks last year. Don't think we forgot. Nobody forgets. We all remember because you talk too much. The biggest thing about y'all is you talk. If you were to just listen to Texas talk, you would think that they're the same as Alabama. You would think that they're USC.
Yeah.
You would think that they're the same as all the big boys in college football. But guess what? They're not. You know how many national championships Texas has won in basketball and football in the last 47 years? Do you know?
One.
They won one. And they had to get a miracle play by Vince Young, who was a superhuman, at the last second to get that one. No. Texas, you are not a top contender. You are not legitimate. You are not a big boy. You wish you were. But remember how you thought you were going to get Nick Saban from Alabama? What did they tell you? Not interested. Why? You're not a big boy. You're not a big dog. You got a big bark. You ain't got no big bite.
No big bite. That's my thing, too. And I love that you brought it up. They have one national championship. I'm going to talk about Mac Brown. We're going to go back on the Mac Brown days. Mac Brown is a good coach, but people who put him in this elite status, granted, he won 10-plus games plenty of years, and he had a great, he was 134-34. You have one national championship. When you get top-level recruits, top-level talent, you had like 10-plus wins, seasons in a row, and you got one national championship? I can't put you in the elite for that. You are the same as Jim Boeheim up there in Syracuse. Is he a good coach? Yes. Don't put him in Coach K's category. Don't put him in Calipari's category. These two guys, different sports, they are the same coach. Boeheim, top-level recruits, and he has one national championship because of this amazing freshman who came in, who it didn't matter who he was playing for, put him on their back and led him to a championship, so he got his one lucky championship. Same thing with Mac Brown. King of underachieving when it comes to sealing the deal and winning big boy games. What happened? We all remember the magical night when Vince Young, it didn't matter who his coach was. Vince Young put his team on his back and won the national championship. Other than that, please don't talk about Mac Brown in the likes of these elite coaches. Stop it. Overrated, and you get the best talent, so stop it.
You had Kevin Durant and couldn't win a national championship. Did you even go to the Final Four? No, not with Kevin Durant. You had Durantula, you had the servant, you had KD, and you still couldn't win a title. You know what that means? You're not a big boy. You're not a big dog. Stop barking. And we don't care how much money you make. That's all you ever talk about. Nobody's interested. We want to see results. You don't have any. You lose. You don't win. You can't even beat us. We're 4-2. We beat you 38-20 last year with Skylar Don Howard, who I love for his grit and his heart, but he's nothing compared to Mountain Greer. What do you think you got waiting on you come Saturday?
I can't wait.
What do you think these hillbillies got for you when that moonshine gets in them come Saturday? Come find us. Come find us.
Texas is not only arrogant, they're selfish, they're self-centered, all this stuff. I'm going to point back to you to Mac Brown. How many NFL players did Mac Brown have? He had 1 million. They got some of the top talent in the country. Do you know how many players?
Every year.
Do you know
single year.
Do you mean tell you about this? You mean tell you about his selfish self-centeredness of Mac Brown? Out of all these years, according to Wikipedia, do you know how many players left before they finished their 4 years, their college eligibility? Out of all them years,
how many?
4. 4 people left early. This is according to Wikipedia. The 4 people work. Can you name them? Can you name a couple of them? Gotta have one.
Ricky Williams.
Nope. Vince Young. Jamal Charles,
I forgot.
Jermichael Finley. Jermichael Finley was a third, and was it Kwame Cavell? The 4 players. You tell me what kind of selfishness a coach. You mean to tell me these kids couldn't win to the NFL, made money? I'm not talking about leaving as sophomores. I'm talking about leaving as juniors. Who was holding them back but a selfish person? When you go and evaluate a kid whether he can go to the NFL, make money, how do you fix your mouth to say, no, I think you need to stay another year at UT? And don't act like they wanted to stay at UT. Point is this. You're selfish. The state is selfish. 4 players in a program of all time. We've had 4 people leave in the last 4 years. Maybe more. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
The whole thing is ridiculous. And I don't want to spend too much time on Mac Brown. He got his already. Mac Brown is now analyzing. Okay, that's what you did with the best coach in your history. He's analyzing because he could only win one national title.
I'm talking about the culture down there.
And now you got Tom Herman in the saddle, and the man can't even swing a hammer. Did you see him when he was trying to tear down those lockers? Nearly bounced back and fell on his butt. I guarantee you Dana Holgorsen and the Mountaineers wouldn't go out with that garbage.
Yeah, and I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this Tom Herman stuff. Tom Herman was supposed to come and turn everything around. I know it's in his first year, but come on, to Maryland getting mopped up like that? To USC? You guys are celebrating moral victories down there in Texas right now. Oh, you played a good game against USC. Stop it.
Stop. And then the Red River rivalry, let's be honest, Oklahoma owned you. The Oklahoma owns your butts right now. You should be embarrassed by your standing and your showing in that Red River rivalry. That's what I'm trying to say, okay? Red River shootout is what I like to call it. Y'all been getting shot out. Straight up malopped these last few years by Oklahoma especially. They own y'all, okay? There's no comparison. I know you really wish there was, but there's not. And you should go back to playing A&M like Jeremy said, because that would be a chance for you to have some kind of rivalry where you would have a shot, which that wouldn't even be for sure because they look a lot better than you guys have these last few years, even as they faded down the stretch. So if we're being real, man, horns down. It's Texas hate week. We got plenty of reasons to hate him. We got plenty of reasons to be favored this game. Plenty of reasons to capitalize on that, finish this game, and show them what real ball is about and make it 5-2. Come Saturday. Come see us.